been having quite a few events here, and I keep saying every time that we're trying to build a culture here of non-book launch related events and trying to encourage events which really are about discussions around books than these big land launches. And I hope this evening will be another one, another contribution to that. We're really, really happy today to have Divya here with us, with readings from her first 3 titles. And more than any other existing publisher, it's obviously particularly exciting for us because we too have been through days of being, a young debutante publisher and sort of excited to have brought out our first few titles and all of that. And I think that really is the most exciting stage. It's challenging and it can be nerve-wracking, but it's also the most exciting stage. And it's wonderful to have her here with her books in this stage of her work. So I give you...
our first reading in Delhi and here, of course. And we are very happy to be here at Yoda Kin. The first time I walked into this shop, I really fell in love with it. So I said, I must have a reading here, and Apida was kind enough. Scene 3. She is 10 years old. A strange throbbing between her young thighs jerks her awake one morning. It is an indescribable sensation, flouting expression, tearing her insides apart. And yet, it returns to her again and again every day. She cannot share it with her mummy or daddy. The sensation urges her to do strange, unspeakable things. She dreams weird dreams these days, of things tantalizing and appalling. They return more and more often now, more and more persistent, unrelenting, like the blistering heat of summer. She must yield or she'll die. Bobby is her best friend. He's a great guy with a wacky sense of humor and a contagious grin. He and his family are their distant neighbors. They live on a street somewhere behind their own. Bobby is a regular visitor to their house. He often takes her to an open field nearby where they carry little wicker baskets and dig out potatoes from the soil. It's a thrilling game. She loves playing in the mud. She loves playing with Bobby. Today, she didn't want to go digging potatoes. Mummy has just walked into her bedroom looking for her. She can see her moving about through the little crack in the cupboard. Mummy wants her urgently for some work. She is calling her name again and again, annoyed, worried. She steps out of the room and her daughter can hear her name being called in the adjacent bedroom, bathroom and the little balcony. Now she's back in her daughter's bedroom before Shireen has had time to step out of her hiding place. She feverishly prays Mummy will not find her. But Mummy is walking purposefully straight towards the crack now. Perhaps it's instinct that pushes her forward. She is almost there. Her daughter shuts her eyes tightly. Mummy clicks open the cupboard door easily and stands gaping, as though affixed to the ground. Bobby and Shireen are huddled together on the shelf, their lower limbs stripped of any clothing. Mummy and Daddy are standing next to each other in her bedroom now. Mummy has already spent half an hour in his room, speaking in distressed whispers. Bobby and Shireen couldn't really hear anything except rising and falling of tones. But they know that something significant was happening behind closed doors. Bobby and she have been rewrapped in their garments. Bobby is fretfully shuffling his feet. He refuses to look up. He hasn't been allowed to go home. Perhaps he's trying to hide his anxious tears. Neither of her parents has said a word, though Mummy seems more disconcerted than usual. She hasn't lambasted her today. She hasn't walloped her either. Daddy is the only fresh arrival in her bedroom. He seems unperturbed, as usual. Mummy drops herself on the bed. She is sniffing. Daddy makes no attempt to comfort her. Instead, he parks himself next to her on the bed and looks inquiringly at his daughter. "What happened, sweetheart?" he says gently, as usual. His calm, unruffled voice has a miraculous effect on his daughter. She rushes to him with a fresh torrent of tears. "We didn't do anything, Daddy," she cries, pleading. "Honestly, I was just curious about the hard lump under his trousers, so I asked him to remove them." "You mean he didn't persuade you to?" says her father, looking at Bobby. Daddy seems to be making a concerted effort to keep a solemn face. "No, Daddy," she confesses softly. "It wasn't Bobby's fault. I coaxed him into it. I told him to remove his trousers and I removed mine on my own." "And what did you do?" her father asks, intrigued, his face unreadable. "Nothing," she says simply. "Are you sure?" His serene eyes look directly at her. He searches her face for guilt, for embarrassment. There is none.